Welcome to this explainer. We're diving straight into a rapidly approaching reality that honestly sounds like pure science fiction, but it's actually a mathematical certainty. Right now, our entire planet depends on a digital system whose foundation is quite literally about to collapse. Every secret, every financial transaction, every private message you've ever sent, they all rely on a mathematical assumption that's incredibly close to its breaking point. So today, we're breaking down exactly how quantum computing threatens the very core of our digital infrastructure and what this actually means for the future of the internet as we know it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a totally staggering number. 1 trillion years. That's roughly how long it would take every single classical supercomputer on Earth working perfectly together to crack just one message secured by our current encryption standard. To put that into perspective for you, the agency trying to read your data would need to outlive the sun vaporizing the Earth, roughly 40,000 times over. It's an impossibly long time. And honestly, that math is the literal security guarantee protecting your bank account right now.
Which brings us to Section 1, the illusion of security.
So the math keeping your digital life private is known as the RSA 2048 math trap. See, modern encryption is built on complexity, not secrecy. And the trick here is surprisingly simple. If I ask you to multiply two prime numbers, say 1007 and 1009, you grab a calculator, boom, you get 1,016,063. Easy, right? But what if I gave you that final massive number and asked you to find the two original prime numbers I multiplied to get it? Well, that takes a massive amount of work. RSA 2048 takes this to a frustratingly high ceiling, using prime numbers that are literally hundreds of digits long. The number of combinations to test is actually larger than the number of atoms in the observable universe. So for a standard computer, reversing that math is virtually impossible.
Moving right along to Section 2, binary versus quantum superposition.
Now, from your smartphone all the way to the computer's guiding spacecraft, everything classical runs on binary. At the lowest level, they use bits, tiny switches that are either a 1 or a 0. Because of this, they have to check massive mathematical combinations one by one, step by step. But quantum computers, they completely break that rule. They use what are called qubits. Thanks to quantum physics, a qubit can exist in a state of superposition. This means it can genuinely hold multiple possibilities, a 1, a 0, or both, at the exact same time. It's not just faster, it's honestly like computing in a higher dimension, exploring vast mathematical combinations all at once.
Here's where things get real in Section 3, breaking RSA 2048 encryption. The absolute wildest part about this is that the math to break our encryption has actually existed for 30 years. Back in 1994, a mathematician named Peter Shor created, appropriately enough, Shor's algorithm. It's a formula explicitly designed to run on a quantum computer to factor those impossibly large numbers in hours instead of trillions of years. Now, for decades, it was just theory, mainly because qubits are highly unstable. But lately, the hardware has violently accelerated. In late 2024, Google unveiled their Willow chip, massively reducing quantum errors. Just a couple of months later, Microsoft announced the Majorana 1. We're now in a full-blown geopolitical and corporate race, a race that's actively driving the US government to enforce a post-quantum migration deadline by 2035. And just to really put this sudden acceleration into perspective, let's look at what Google's Willow chip just achieved. In a complex benchmark test, Willow finished a calculation in just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. If a classical supercomputer attempted that exact same calculation, it would take 10 septillion years. That is 720 quadrillion times longer than the age of the universe itself. The wall between us and completely broken encryption is no longer physics or math. It is purely a matter of engineering at this point. And guys, that wall is coming down fast.
This brings us to a terrifying tipping point. Section 4, the threat of Q-Day.
If you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, remember this one concept: Q-Day. It's the hypothetical day when quantum computers cross the threshold and become powerful enough to run Shor's algorithm against real-world encryption. If you're not super technical, think of it like this. Right now, hacks usually require someone to make a mistake, like clicking a bad link or forgetting to lock a digital door. Q-Day is like instantly handing out a master key that opens every single lock on Earth simultaneously. Private messaging, secure online banking, digital privacy as a whole, they simply cease to exist. But here's the kicker. The real danger isn't just waiting patiently in the future, it's happening to you right now. It's a practice known as harvest now, decrypt later. Bad actors are actively hoarding encrypted data today. We're talking dormant crypto wallets, international communications, personal profiles, private emails. Sure, they can't read it right now, but they're patiently acting like digital pack rats, knowing for a fact that the moment Q-Day arrives, all that data will instantly unlock. It's basically Schrödinger's data. It's already captured, just sitting there waiting to be observed.
So, what are we doing about it? Let's look at Section 5, Rebuilding Digital Foundation.
The stark reality is that every major sector of modern civilization must fundamentally migrate to new post-quantum encryption standards. We are talking about all banking and financial systems, the massive cloud storage providers holding sensitive corporate data, the VPNs protecting whistleblowers, cryptocurrencies built purely on legacy cryptography, and highly classified government archives. Right now, this impending threat is driving frantic, classified briefings backstage that the general public rarely hears about, mostly because we're all distracted by debates over artificial intelligence.
And the sheer logistical nightmare of what we're facing, it's completely unprecedented. Migrating to new cryptographic standards is being described as the largest infrastructure project in the history of the internet. It's literally like trying to replace a house's foundation without evacuating its residents. The internet has to keep running, banks have to keep processing billions of dollars, all while engineers attempt to quickly swap out the very mathematical floorboards beneath our feet.
And listen, if we fail to do this flawlessly, we face the very real risk of a fragmented internet. Today, you can buy something online from another country in seconds. Your laptop talks to a massive retailer, who talks to a credit card company, who talks to your bank. Dozens of digital handshakes happen seamlessly across borders because everyone speaks the exact same cryptographic language. But this migration to post-quantum standards, it's going to be messy and it's going to be uneven. Major banks and wealthy nations will upgrade first. Smaller institutions and legacy networks are going to lag behind. When these systems try to connect, the seamless global internet we've enjoyed for 30 years will shatter it into tiered, disconnected networks. Some routes will work perfectly, some will slow down to a crawl, and others will just break entirely.
So I'll leave you with this final, vital question to consider. You're currently standing in a doorway. Behind you is the 70-year digital age, a room built on classical binary math that democratized technology for the entire planet. But that room is closing. Ahead of you is a post-digital quantum age, being built right now by institutions you don't know, using physics most people don't even understand. As this massive transition shifts power back into the hands of a very select few, who will control this immense new quantum capability? And more importantly, will you be ready when Q-Day finally arrives?